persona of Dutton-Goldfield, the way it's grown, the way I feel about winemaking, the way I feel about this neighborhood, there's that love of place that only the people who live on the land can truly have. So my appreciation for what the Duttons are doing, to be 6 generations in a neighborhood and farming, is remarkable. The number of wineries around here where the people whose names are on the label are still involved is tremendously small.
My dad grew up on a ranch in Santa Rosa that his father owned. My mother and father, they got married right out of high school in 1963, and they knew, well, they could see that Santa Rosa was encroaching on the farmland that my grandfather owned and my dad was helping him with. So they found this ranch, our home ranch here in Sebastopol, in 1964 and bought 35 acres here. And so this was their original ranch and still is our home base. I essentially grew up here. I was born in 67. My first 6 years of life, I lived in our house here that is now our office, and never thought about doing anything other than farming.
There's probably nowhere in the world more hospitable to human existence and human food propagation than Green Valley.
It's a Mediterranean climate, so it's warm during the days, during the growing season, 70 to 85 degrees. Evenings, it gets down in the 40s, so we have a big diurnal swing every day. And then we have a lot of fog intrusion here, which is one of the key things of Russian River Valley and the Green Valley.
All of this neighborhood is pushed up sea bottom, so it's very sandy soil on top. Our neighborhood soil is called Gold Ridge Sandy Loam. It makes it very easy for the roots to get down deep in the soil. And once the roots get into the clay, they can pretty much be dry farmed. We have many dry farmed older vineyards. Our Zinfandel up on the top of the hill over there is 120 years old, has never been watered, and still throws more crop than we want on many years. So there's something just alive about this soil.
When Dan and I first started talking about starting the winery, we were growing a lot of really nice grapes, right? Great Pinot Noir from this area, great Chardonnay, and we were selling those grapes, and other people were using the wine, making into wine and making the wine. And there's still many wineries do that here, buy lots of grapes from us. We really thought about how we should be taking some of these grapes, some of the best grapes that we have, and making them into wine and selling them to the public ourselves so that we can control the whole process and make something really great from this area.
The partnership goes back to 1993 when I started buying grapes as the winemaker for La Crema, and then 94 for Hartford Court from the Dutton family, and getting to know them as locals who really cared about this neighborhood.
I always liked how he was really truly focused on his craft. I always felt like I was too, and that farming, doing the best job I could farming was important to me, and making the best wine was important to him. He and I became fast friends over that.
And the chemistry of winemaking is either extremely simple, pH, which is acidity and alcohol and simple things, or it's so complicated as to be almost irrelevant. There is all this interesting chemistry that's fun to learn, but in the actual making of wine, you're not really thinking about that. So what I love is just kind of looking at the amalgam and realizing every year is different, and every vineyard is different, every fermentation is different.
Yes, I want things perfect, but Mother Nature's involved, right? That is the one key thing that affects my business the most that I have no control over.
And in winemaking, there are so many variables that to think you know what one thing does in the milieu of a million others is arrogant in my opinion. Hopefully your gut feel gets better as you are in it longer.
Our business is entering the 3rd generation, is now here working. I think it would be really successful if my grandkids could farm here, if my great grandkids could farm here. I know that would have made my father very happy.
In every bottle of wine from anywhere, the number of people who have made huge efforts to make that bottle happen, if any of those people doesn't do the best job they can, that wine won't be what we were all hoping it could be.